Alright, here we go everyone. I am Unstable, joined here by Lirilian for this final game here for Group B. We are going to have a TSLInori up against FXOGumiho, the third game of this set. It is going to be on Cloud Kingdom, both currently tied up 1-1 apiece, with Inori taking game 1 and Gumiho taking game number 2. So let's get straight into this game, shall we, Lirilian?
Yep, let's get this game started with some introductions. In the top right spawn position on that map, Cloud Kingdom, we've got our red Protoss player from the TSL team. He is Inori. And in the bottom left, we've got our blue Terran player, FXOGumiho. Is he going to be able to make the comeback and win this series 2-1? Or is he going to get knocked out by TSLInori here in the final game of Group B?
Well, remember, he did take Inori down in the very first game of this set. People are just tuning in now and wondering, it's actually Codex-style groups. You've got 4 players, 2 advance. You got your winners and your losers game. This is, of course, the final game, and these guys have met in the very first set of this entire group. So this is going to be very interesting. A similar situation as well. They were tied 1 apiece, with Gumiho able to clean it out at the end. Of course, he did fall to Marine King, I believe, off the top of my head. Yep, that's correct. And Inori dropped down and took out Huey from XPEC, I'm a Taiwanese player, to make it here. So let's see how these guys ended up. We don't have any gas just yet for Gumiho. He has a tendency to like those gasless expands from him. But as we saw in the very first set, he did get caught off guard with some proxy shenanigans from Inori. So he's going to be playing it very safe this set, I feel.
Yeah, he is. Inori, by the way, is also playing it safe, or maybe he has some plans for some early aggression. I don't know. He went for a 12 gate and cut a probe. You know, that's not a very big deal, but it's just, you know, playing safe, going for the 12 gate also opens up possibilities to be able to go for a really hard 4 gate with a 16 cybernetic score, if he so desires, but the cybernetic score did not go down early. Inori is chrono boosting away at his probes, so I think we're going to see a very standard opening out of Protoss here, with the Zealot now being started, and probably a 1 gate expand, which is the norm on this map. Do we ever see anything else from Protoss players on this map other than a 1 gate expand?
I haven't seen something different in a very long time. Just something to note here, Inori is going to be very frustrating to Gumiho down here at the expansion, forced to run his SCV around, but the Marine is there to save him, just barely. But he did delay that building for about a good 4 to 5 seconds, so it's better than nothing, of course. We do have Warp Gate research on the way from Inori. He's going to be expanding very soon. He's banking up those minerals now. And we're going to see a very standard game. Like we did see in the game 1 of this final set, a nice macro game between them, but a couple of engagement errors from Gumiho allowed Inori to just take that game down. First at the 3rd base, where he got a little bit out of position and had his units firing at the wrong targets. And then lost his ghosts to some nice feedbacks by Inori, and it was just over from there. Like, as soon as you see all the ghosts in a Terran army disappear, it's just like, oh god, I don't want to watch the next 10 seconds as the army gets obliterated.
Yeah, that was a really painful situation. Also, the Viking count wasn't really where it should be, and with 3-4 Colossi still left alive from that first engagement, that game pretty much ended. I want to pay attention to something that Inori is, you know, consistently doing. He's always starting the Zealot, but as soon as he finds out there's no scouting SCV and there's no risk of getting Engineering Bay blocked, he cancels the Zealot and gets down that Nexus a little bit earlier, which is a move I really like. I mean, what is that Zealot really gonna do for you in the early game other than prevent an Engineering Bay block? And if you know that's not coming, cancel the Zealot, get a bit of an earlier Nexus, get a bit of a you know, bigger advantage than you would normally have. I really like it out of Inori. I'm gonna definitely copy that, use it in my own play.
Yeah, I am just trying. There he is. I was just like tripping myself out for a bit. I'm like, where is this Stalker? I can see it on the units tab, but I couldn't see where he was hiding. Robotics Bay, facility down at the natural now for Inori. He's going straight into that. Can sometimes be a little bit risky, but of course with the opening here from Gumiho, he knows he's completely safe against something like that. Concussive Shell on the way, Stim shortly after, and a factory here for Gumiho. This SCV is going to get caught by the Stalker. Some nice control by Inori and his pathing to catch that out. Of course, he does have the sentry over on the right-hand side and the watchtower taken, so nice map control here as well.
Amazing map control. He saw a lot of things there. I wonder what that sentry was doing there, though, on the right side, near a potential fort.
Well, the only thing I could possibly think of is, oh, this Stalker coming up the ramp at the wrong time, saying hi to 4 Marines. Did he see those 2 Marauders, though? I don't think he did. He is retreating here now, of course. No, he definitely didn't, because he's about to get caught. Oh. And is he going to be able to get up that ramp, stop the vision for a second? No, he's barely not able to get away. That is very frustrating for Inori to lose that first Stalker, especially seeing this unit composition now. He is chrono boosting that Immortal out as fast as he can. Thank God he has 3 sentries here. Otherwise he would have been in a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, he would be. Those rocks, of course, going to help out. He can easily force field that off, buy himself some extra time. Inori has been playing a 1 gate into Robo style, and he's now adding on additional gateways. So taking a bit of a risk. You know, 1 gate into Robo can be pressured by certain, you know, heavy marine builds where you go 3, 4, sometimes even 5 barracks after command center. When you go for a super early Robo like that, you could be in some trouble. But Gumiho has been playing it fairly standard. He's going up to 3 racks right now. He's getting a starport nice and early. We see very standard play coming out of the Terran.
Yeah, we do see him also with a Hellion just up here and a Marine just coming through to see what's going on. Will he be able to get this Hellion up to the top? Yes, he will. He's going to get into the main now. A very cost-efficient scout now, not forced to use the scan to see what's going on, and sees the gateway count, sees what's going on here as well. So that's very nice for Gumiho. Of course, can't get away. He's going to get taken out eventually, but still, he's going to be able to keep his Marine down here at the 3rd and see the expansion timing for Inori. And at the same time, the Observer over here is actually damaged. There's a turret just behind the bunker. Something that falls in and out of favor a lot of times with Terrans, and it can actually catch a lot of Protoss off guard and lose their observers if they're not paying too much attention. Of course, Gumiho now starting his 3rd base, instantly seen by Inori with his nice map control and vision that we've seen from him entire series long. But he's not going to see this drop, but it doesn't matter because he's already got Stalkers in position.
Yeah, he already gets Stalkers in position at the drop. Probably not going to do too much. We see 2 Stalkers out of Inori are going to be moving over to the 3rd here. The army of Gumiho is now getting in position to defend that 3rd, so those Stalkers are not going to be able to pick off this SCV. They might be able to get a Marine here and then get out of here. But of course, very careful you have to be with those. Oh, we see the drop, by the way, going in here. Oh, he's going to get targeted down. Oh my god, 7 HP.
7 HP, that was extremely lucky for Gumiho. There was 4 Marauders in that drop too, not something you want to lose. That's probably the worst possible combination of units that he could have in that if he was going to lose the Medivac too. But he is ahead on his 3rd base timing, remember here. So Inori knows this. Looking down here, he has got his first Colossus on the way, as he did get his Robotics Bay up in here as well. Got a 2nd Forge coming down at the same time. He's got +1 on the way. Gumiho, of course, just has +1 finishing, so he is a good about 100 seconds ahead. But Gumiho is spread out quite a bit here. He's on the left-hand side of the map, he's on the right-hand side of the map, just trying to make sure nothing catches him by surprise. And Inori is going to try and catch up in that base timings by taking a 3rd.
Yeah, finally we see the 3rd coming up for Inori considerably later than it was for Gumiho. Gumiho is already going to start mining and dropping mules here, so he's definitely going to have a bit of an economic advantage. Gumiho scouting in here with a Stim Marine, runs into the Stalkers, does see the Immortal and the Sentries as well. The first Colossus is about to hit the field, I believe. Thermal Lance is about 75% done, and so are most of the upgrades for Inori. So he's finally gonna... He's still at a bit of a risk right now. At this point in the game, before your first Colossus is out, you're really prone to be attacked by double medevac timings with a lot of Stim Marine and Marauders. But it looks like Gumiho does not want to commit. He knows his 3rd is way earlier, and I think that's why he's just fine. He's just happy and sitting back and waiting, playing the waiting game a bit.
Yeah, well, even in game 1, Inori was really good at that, just sitting back defensive posture. As, a little bit too quick on his probe transfer, they're getting 1 long-distance mining run in. I was looking at my minimap going, what is going on there? They're going the wrong way. But the Nexus hadn't finished up. So, we do see Stalkers on the high ground now. Oh, 1 does get picked off by Gumiho. And Inori needs to be very careful. Of course, he does have units in position. Look at this Observer at the north, just on patrol in case there's any drops coming down. He's got another one down here at the bottom right. He is completely safe. Gumiho using his factory, of course, to see if anything extra has been added. Looking at his vision, he's actually missed all the tech that actually matters up in the top right. And doesn't see that Templar Archives, but it shouldn't be too big of a threat for him here because he should realize that this is coming, especially on 3 base. Protoss love being on 3 base.
Oh, a free medevac there in the middle of the map for Inori. That was a bit of a miscontrol there by Gumiho. Nice job there by Inori picking up anything that he can. No Vikings are in this army. Oh, well, there are 2 Vikings, actually. 2 Vikings in this army composition for Gumiho. Now, he's up by about 20 supply. That is, of course, a result of that earlier 3rd base. Inori is still in that defensive posture. And with only 2 Vikings, there's no way he can push up the ramp towards Inori here. He's got a way too good of a defensive concave. The upgrades for Mr. Inori are now at 1-1. He's researching 2-2. The upgrades are pretty close together. Gumiho also on 1-1 will be going up to +2 attacks in a second. So a slight upgrade lead for our Terran here.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Gumiho scanned and took out one of the observers that was actually following his base. And it was just something to note. He's always stimming in that one Marine to see what's going on. Instead of wasting a scan. Like, I would feel bad for the Marines in his army, because you don't know if it's like your lottery is up when he's trying to scout or not. But he does have a really good idea on what's going on. He still hasn't seen this Templar Archives at the back, but he does have Ghosts already out on the field, just expecting that transition.
Yeah, he went for a very early Ghost Academy, considering, you know, usually Inori is pretty late with switching into Templar. That's something that has to be noted. We're already at the 15-minute mark, and he is still producing Colossus. He's going up to 4 Colossus, which is not something that we see very often anymore. Usually it's 2, 3 Colossi, and then going into some really quick storms and hoping to surprise your Terran opponent with those early storms when they do not have Ghosts yet. But Gumiho, like you said, Unstable, already has Ghosts in this army composition, as he is going to be destroying the rocks here, and we'll be moving up in here to maybe pressure a little bit.
Oh, nice feedback on one of those Ghosts, but Gumiho bringing a couple of units in, does lose 3 Marines, 4 a Templar, a nice trade for him. But again, he's got to be very careful. He's using his Vikings on top of this cliff to try and pick off those Colossus, but Inori having none of that with some nice control with his Stalkers. The scan goes down, sees Inori moving to the wrong side, and look at this, we've got 3 Templars here ready to go. They do not have any storms yet here, literally, and they only have feedbacks. And it looks like Gumiho doesn't want to really push up that ramp, and I agree with that decision. He would get absolutely crushed.
Yeah, it would still not be a good idea to push up there, and Gumiho is just gonna enjoy his lead that he's got going for himself.
Oh, there's a Marauder in the natural here. Just, I don't know how he made it past the entire army.
It did get 2 kills. Well, that's 2 probe kills probably, yeah. That's the first probe kills that Gumiho is gonna be getting, and one of the earliest... one of the first little bits of economic damage. 2 Zealots are...
Oh my god, just on my screen, sorry to cut you off there, Gumiho had actually stimmed in units to the 3rd, and then they actually pretty much high-fived like 6 Templars. If he was paying attention at the time, he could have taken most of those out. At the same time, he's got more coming into the natural, just trying to bring in this harassment. Both players are pretty much maxed out here, remember, so Gumiho is getting 1, 2... He's got 3 extra command centers, 1 completed, 2 on the way, so he's just going to go into the very late game here. And Inori taking a 4th base. Neither one of them wants to engage.
Nah, neither one wants to engage just yet. Gumiho was, I think he was sacrificing those Marines and Marauders that he was sending into the 3rd and the natural a little bit because he wanted to get out more Ghosts. He only had 1 or 2 Ghosts in that army composition. Now he's going to have, what, 4, 5, no, even 10 Ghosts. And that's a good number to be at for Gumiho. Hopefully he's not going to get too many feedbacks on those Ghosts this time, and hopefully he'll be able to get out a few good EMPs, as we see a few Zealots are going to be running into Command Center Central here, where there are 2 Command Centers just finished up. The SCVs might end up dying. The Zealots, of course, not going to do too much, but it is going to allow Inori to position himself in the middle of the map, maybe get ready to apply some pressure to that planetary fortress at 4th.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, there could be a storm coming down on these Vikings. He felt like if it only got 1 feedback off instead, did get lose those snipers. Oh, here we go! Look at that, EMPs and snipes everywhere. Let's see who got the better of that trade there. Definitely Gumiho, because Inori did have 10 Templars to Gumiho's 10 Ghosts, and he dropped down to 4 Templars and 8 Ghosts, so very nicely done by Gumiho there.
Yeah, by the way, we had some harassment happening at the 3rd base of Gumiho. Those 2 Zealots that I said were coming in and probably not going to do too much. They actually did quite a bit. They killed a few SCVs. They forced a lot of lost mining time. So those 2 Zealots definitely paying for themselves, as the Vikings are trying to snipe a Colossus in the middle of the map, and they do get one, but at the cost of at least 1 Viking, and a few others are getting damaged there. So that was, you know, not the worst trade for Inori, but definitely a bit better for Gumiho. Oh, this poor observer.
Yeah, that was like the worst possible time to go and try and sit over the top of that army. But at the same time, look here, we actually have cannons on the high ground next to the 4th for Inori. I really like that position. And at the same time, he's being careful with these Vikings. It looks like he wants to go for it. Nice EMPs go down all over those Archons. The 2 of them have 0 health whatsoever. And here we go, the cannons actually stalling Gumiho's army for a bit here. More EMPs going down, but here come the storms. On top of the Ghost, though, does get the snipes off onto Inori's Templar. And look at that, those Vikings are starting in the yellow health. Needs to be careful now. More storms coming down, and Inori being on the defensive here is going to have the advantage because he can reinforce much, much quicker. More snipes coming down by Gumiho. Really nice ghost control this time. And we do have a Warp Prism with speed is going to dart off to the 4th base to try and get some harassment done. As I'm just looking over here, Inori's taking a 5th base as they keep trying to go. More storms coming down.
Yeah, the storms are going down everywhere. Those Vikings trying to snipe the... Oh no, wait, that's not the last Colossus. There's still 4 Colossi around. Yeah. Gumiho is still not quite confident enough to push down the ramp to speed. Warp Prism is getting closer to the 3rd. Well, could warp in a few Zealots there, but I think Inori is going to be focusing mainly on the defense and keeping his 4th alive because he cannot afford to lose that right now.
Yeah, and we'll blink forward, catches quite a few of those Vikings. Inori's going for it, going up the ramp. Those Speed Zealots and Archons doing a great job here. The Ghosts are cloaked, doing some snipes in the background as well. It looks like Inori will barely push it forward, but he has no anti-air to deal with these Vikings. There we go, some more Stalkers warped in. Oh, these Colossus on very low health, and Gumiho is forced to retreat. He still saves his Ghost, but oh my god, 2 of those Colossus are on like 20 health each. That is absolutely insane. 32 HP and 30 HP now as their shields recharge. And where did that Warp Prism go? Did he end up doing some harassment during that engagement? No, he didn't.
It's still sitting here at the 3rd base. It's actually not showing up on the minimap. Do you see that? That's weird. It sits at the orbital commands near the 3rd base, but it's not showing up on the minimap.
Ah, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's very weird. It must be just because the command centers are too big. Because I looked at the minimap and I'm like, where is it? Inori does have another one over at his 3rd, which is where I checked first. But okay, I see where that's going on. That's actually quite bizarre. The ghost count is insane right now. 17 for Gumiho. He's seen the SCV has seen this 5th base for Inori over on the right. There's 2 Templar here, just gaining energy. We do have sensor towers. Like, that's actually in the game, right? I'm not being crazy that the Warp Prism's here and just hanging out.
I'm starting to doubt myself at this point because Gumiho, you know, hey, he has full vision of this. He's controlling his army, moving it around, and I'm sure if he would have seen this Warp Prism, he would kill it, I guess. But it's not showing up on his minimap either.
And it's just out of range of that sensor tower too.
Yeah, it's barely out of range. This Marauder is looking at it right now, at that Warp Prism, and he's like, what's happening here? A 2nd Warp Prism, by the way, unstable, is going to be making his way into the natural, but there's not a lot of mining going on here. Could see a few Zealots warped in, do some harassment, maybe pull the army out of position a little bit, as the 2nd sneaky Warp Prism is still sitting here at the 3rd base, doing nothing at all. TSLInori is like, well, if I just keep it steady, it's going to be stealthed, and it will not be spotted, and I can get some scouting information and have a proxy pylon. Well,
he's going to lose that 2nd Warp Prism over there. Looking at the upgrades, Gumiho is at 3-3 now. He's got +3 air weapons on the way as well. Inori is about to be at 3-2-3 with his 2nd shield upgrade coming. He's also getting his observer speed as well. It's really going to help him out here. He's been consistently on top of the scouting here. Gumiho going down to check that 4th base as well, but there's cannons already there. And this is going to start looking a little bit dangerous here for Gumiho. He can't really expand down to the bottom right without it being known by Inori. Inori also taking the top left-hand base up here as well. Gumiho does have quite a bit of gas banked up, but so does Inori here. I really think that after that last engagement, he's been really timid about going in yet again, but 18 Ghosts here, literally, and he's actually going to go for it. He's going to get caught from behind. There's actually 6 Colossi here, 2 of them still on very low health. There's Templars at the bottom of the ramp. There go the Storms as Gumiho charges in, trying to pick those off. Does force an Archon move, but he lost quite a few units in regards to that. Here we go. He's going to go for it anyway, though. He's actually making another turret down here just behind us in case an observer is on top of him. I really like that move. And now he's going to be able to come in here. It comes down to Inori. Is he going to go for it? He's very weary because there's Ghosts and Vikings covering the Marine Marauder Ball. And he is going to lose that Nexus here. And look at the Stalkers coming in forward because he knows that the Ghosts aren't going to be able to kill them that quickly.
Yeah, the 5th base was lost there for Inori. He didn't feel confident enough pushing into the Terran army right now, seeing those 18 Ghosts.
Oh my god, double Warp Prism coming through, but Gumiho's prepared for that. He's got 2 turrets, takes out one of the Warp Prisms. One does make it back in, but it looks like Inori is going to try and engage over here at the 5th. Gumiho sending quite a few units. He's stimmed once already, but he's got to be careful because the gateway count is going to be huge for Inori right now. He's going to have a hard time dealing with this Warp Prism. But it looks like Inori doesn't have... He's actually maxed out. He can't warp in more units. That's terrible for him. He just had a few more supply, but it looks like he's going to go for it. Up here, EMPs go down on those Archons. Here comes... Oh! 1 feedback for a Templar. Nice trade. But here comes another one. Takes 3 Ghosts out. Oh my god.
That's what we saw in that first game on Daybreak as well. Inori very good with his feedbacks, and Gumiho not really able to hit the snipes or the EMPs before he lost most of his ghosts. Hopefully that's not going to be the same thing that happens to him here as another Templar gets forward. There's actually feedbacks to Medivacs there, not getting any of the ghosts. Not quite as good to feedback a Medivac, of course.
I think he's seen the ghost count now and he's like, well, I can kill them all day, they're just going to still be there. Nice warp in here by Inori, catching this force on the left-hand side. Is going to be able to clean that up. At the same time, we do have... Whoa, Gumiho, what are you doing? I'm not sure if that was a misstep or not, but he walked straight into the army with a few units here. And Inori has been completely on top of Gumiho's ghost this entire game.
Yeah, Inori's been doing very, very well, and I think slowly he's getting an edge. Maybe soon he feels confident enough to...
Here we go again, 1, 2. Unfortunately, one of those ghosts didn't have enough energy to kill it, but... There's another one. Whoa, 2!
Wow.
Oh my god.
Gumiho, he is elsewhere on the map. I'm not sure where, but his ghost there went down without doing pretty much anything. A few zealots here in the bottom left side of the map. They are just patrolling here. Looks like they're gonna head towards that planetary fortress in the bottom. Don't think these zealots will be able to do too much. There are 2 barracks on the high ground here blocking them from doing anything in particular.
This wall up here is actually quite cool. I haven't seen this before with the double racks and the add-on to stop anything coming past, rather than the supply depots that can be taken out really quickly. But oh, look at this. Inori moving forward. Gumiho does have a nice concave. EMPs everywhere. Storms as well. Straight down here, but both of them deciding to back off because neither one of them has their entire army here. More zealots down at the bottom right. Gumiho's trying to deal with that now. He's actually sent... Oh, there's a... He can't land because of that pylon. He hasn't actually noticed it till now, and now he's seen it. He's going to be forced to come back with his entire army to clean this up. But remember, he's still down 1 base.
Yep, he's still down a base. Inori is actually looking to be in a really good position as he now moves forward. Of course, the sensor tower is going to see all the movements.
Here we go.
Scan goes down. At the same time,
we have here comes some storms. There's so many ghosts here. They can be... All those get taken out with feedback. Snipes go down as well. Inori is in a nice spot cutting Gumiho's army off because he cannot go through this choke point. Otherwise, he will be torn apart by those Colossi. And interestingly enough, we have a nuke on the way for Gumiho. He's also making his final base into a planetary fortress down the bottom right. More zealots just going left, right here for Inori. And I don't think Gumiho is going to have enough army to actually deal with this. Luckily for him, they're all coming in one at a time. So this army should be able to clean that up at the same time. Inori moving down here on the bottom right as well. The ghosts are in front. EMPs go down on those Colossi. They are on very low health, but the Archons there are going to be able to help defend them. But there's so many Vikings here, Lillian, and Inori just can't push forward.
No, he can't. Definitely not after getting that EMP on most of his Colossi. They would die so fast. That would have been a bad engagement for him. Those Zealots, man, they keep on streaming in. That pylon in, well, close to the 4th base of Inori, constantly warping in a group of like 6 to 10 Zealots, and they go in and pretty much die without doing too much. I mean, we've seen a few Zealot warp-ins do some damage, but usually they're just gonna run into this wall off again. Oh, no, Inori not gonna send them to their deaths this time, because he's focusing on the micro in the middle of the map once again. These players battling for position. Who's gonna have the better concave? Of course it's gonna be for Gumiho right now. Look at that. Here comes another High Templar. Doesn't really get anything this time around. The Vikings move forward, try to snipe a Colossus. Don't quite get it. The Zealots, meanwhile, attacking.
Oh, there's 2 storms going down this time. Oh my god, that was a great move by Inori, and Gumiho did not expect those 2 storms. At the same time, Inori moved in down here at the right, trying to mess with him. And we do see one Archon is going to be taken out eventually, but no, Inori's coming back, he's going to be able to save that. Pushes the Archon forward towards Gumiho, of course, that's never a fun thing to have happen. Here comes 2 more. Templars they trade again. And we have an Archon here now down the back, but he's keeping like this army and all the reinforcements for Gumiho down here at his base. Oh, Storms on top of all the Vikings, so, and the Archons there as well. They're getting extremely low. Looking at the Viking count, it's 19 Vikings, 14 Ghosts, and it's actually working quite well here for Gumiho with this unit composition. Both of them really just can't advance their position, no matter how much they try.
No, they cannot. Both of them are just battling for position constantly in the middle of the map. Those Zealots, once again, are going to be coming into the natural of Gumiho, but Gumiho keeps a big chunk of his army there right now. I don't think he'll be able to...
Inori's going for it completely this time. Oh my god, EMPs hit absolutely everything, but Gumiho chooses not to commit to that. His Bio Force was sitting a little bit too far back, but Inori has no shields on 5 of those Archons have 0 shields right now. He needs to just back off. He's got 2 more Colossus up here at the top right. And both these guys sitting on the same number of bases right now. Both of them maxed out. We do see Gumiho's army is going to be 10 more supply in army because he has less SCVs here. He has 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 orbitals at this point in time, so we could probably actually get rid of the rest of those. Inori expanding yet again over down here to the 9 o'clock position. And this is going to come down to a war of attrition, I feel here, Lirilian.
Could be, could be. He still has a nuke, by the way, Gumiho. It's something that we should pay attention to a little bit. I would love to see some nukes go down. We don't really ever see that in Protoss versus Terran anymore in the current meta game. So hopefully Gumiho is gonna show us some some good nukes and some amazing play with that. Is there only 1 Colossus left in his army?
There's 2 more.
They're brothers.
Yeah, there's 2 in the main army, 2 just sitting over here on the near those cannons near the 4th base again. But I'm not really sure there. And here we go, Warp Prism into the main. Yet again, there's a second one here, just in case that happens. Look at this. Inori is actually starting to take down the add-ons here, which is a really good choice. Stop that production for Gumiho. He's forced quite a few Vikings to come back, actually.
This could be his time to engage Gumiho's Marine army at that 4th base, because there's not that many Vikings left here. There's 2 Colossi in this army. Still, those 2 Colossi on the left side of the map, they are not doing anything. I definitely think that's a mistake by Inori. They are definitely not there on purpose. They're just sitting there mis-rallied, and with 2 extra Colossus in his army, it would be way more powerful as Gumiho cloaks all his ghosts, uncloaks all his ghosts, and we're still not going to be going into the final fight, so to say.
Is Gumiho going to make a planetary down here at this point where they've just constantly been sitting their armies? I have a feeling that's exactly what's going to happen. He doesn't have much gas at the moment, and he hasn't noticed this base to the 9 o'clock position, looking at his vision. Whoa! There's the... Oh! That's a very frustrating thing to have happen. He moved slightly into the range of the cannons for that nuke.
Yep.
That's really frustrating.
Wasn't able to get it all.
Oh, Warp Prism going straight into the Vikings in the middle of the map as well. Gumiho now finally sees that extra base. And no, he's actually going to try and take the base on the right-hand side at the 3 o'clock position instead. But
wow,
not really sure.
Gonna get down that round.
Well, I don't know. It seems to be working out quite well for him as he's pushing forward now. He is going to be able to secure this. I'm actually so surprised he's able to secure that. We do have another Warp Prism down here at the bottom right-hand corner with some Blink Stalkers. Out of range of Planetary, though.
They're gonna get cleaned up by a bit of a Marauder force here by Gumiho. Gumiho is... Oh, are we gonna see that fight at the yeah, what number base is this even? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Base number 6 for Gumiho, actually on Inori's side of the map. And the Vikings, a few feet actually down on the ghost there.
There's not much of Gumiho's army here. He's got reinforcements strewn everywhere. There's bits and pieces all over the map. And here we go. Are we gonna finally see it? No, not yet. That's right, the SCVs will chase him down.
Not quite yet. We got a few Zealots harassing, by the way, on the bottom side of the map. The Ghosts are gonna get caught here. They are cloaked, so they're still alive. Apparently, there's no Observer in this army for Inori, so those Ghosts getting away quite cleanly there. A small Marine Marauder force gonna be running up to the top left side of the map. As we're gonna see TSLInori engage the Planetary Fortress. No, he's not. He's gonna be pulling back the Vikings, taking some fire. Action happening all around the map. But the Vikings are going to stay alive, and so are most of the Colossus. Neither player wants to commit, man. They're playing so safe. They're playing so careful. Yeah,
but it looks like Inori's finally going to go for it here. He has got his Templar moving up to the top-hand side, but remember, Gumiho's army is out of position here at the moment. He's going straight into these turrets, and as storms go down on a lot of that Bio Force, and he's now split himself up. These Archons here for Inori being really frustrating. And look, Gumiho is now caught into backed into a corner. He's got some Marines on the left-hand side. They're going to be completely caught off guard. More storms. Gumiho's in the worst possible position for him right now. And here comes Inori. He's going to try and go through on the right-hand side, and is just crushing through half of this army from Gumiho. The other half of the army is trying to catch up, but he just hasn't been able to deal with these Colossi. They're so low health here, literally, and there's nothing he can do about it. And GG. Oh my god, that was an intense game. But Inori will take it down 2-1, and that shows you how frustrating it can be to have your army out of position.
Oh, that's such an anticlimactic ending to such a super long and pretty good game to see it end with. Gumiho a little bit out of position and a pretty one-sided battle to finish it off with. We're like on 6 bases, and the entire game was basically decided in 2 big battles. Like the one big battle near the third base, which was slightly better for Inori, and the second big battle was the GG right away in a 14-minute game.
Alrighty, so congratulations to Inori. He will make it out of the group along with Marine King into the round of 32. Of course, the round of 32 is single elimination with best of 5 all the way and best of 7 for the final. So congratulations to him. We are going to be right back with our final group of today's broadcast. It's going to be Group C with Strelok, Life, Tia, and San. Let's see how these guys do it. We'll be right back.